Okay, so my mate Eddie picked this up, super cheap. I think he said Facebook, I'm not sure, but yeah, super cheap. I think it's around 98.99 Univega Alpine or Alpina. Needs a little bit of love. It's got a turbo tyre on the back. Obviously spent a little bit of time as a turbo trainer bike. Yeah, it needs a little bit of love. You want some fat tyres on there, get rid of all this nastiness and bits off the frame and see what we can make out of it. It seems to be overall in really good condition. I don't think it's going to be a great deal to do other than a good clean up and run through it all, make sure it's all working. So we pop it in the stand and pull the wheels out. You see there, it needs brake pads, they're down to nothing. Everything's a bit grubby, where it's obviously been it must have been outside at some point, because those brake pads are right down and it's got all that grubbiness on it. But certainly of recent, it's obviously been on a turbo trainer. The front tyre though was one of these old school Maxxis worm drives, which I thought was quite cool. And then the orange turbo trainer tyre on the back. So yeah, wheels out. Needs some brake pads, needs a good clean. So just a bit of GT85, and the brake pads, before anyone says it, are coming out for new ones, so I'm not worried about where the GT85 is getting sprayed. It's quite a good little mild degreaser, GT85. People underestimate it for that. So that's what I'm using it as, and getting in the way of the camera, giving it a bit of a wipe down. And black bikes always tend to come up quite nicely. There were a few scratches on here which I got to with a T-cut in the end. Off camera, but even with this light wipe over, you can see that it's starting to look a little bit better. So carry on cleaning. I've got some tyres in mind for it. I can fit the new brake pads and just generally run through. Oh, the gear shifters are a bit sticky, so I'm probably going to run something through those to flush them out. It's a common problem with the old trigger shifters. They just get gunked up with old grease, especially if it's been sitting around or in a warm environment, you know, on a turbo trainer indoors. It solidifies the grease in the shifters, and they become you get missing clicks. So you'll click, you'll shift 3 times and only get 1 click, and kind of the pawls inside get gunked up with grease. So just finishing off with an initial wipe down, and then we'll have a look at these shifters. Just flushing them out with brake cleaner. Actually, I did re-lubricate afterwards, but flushing them out with brake cleaner, and almost straight away then just working the shifter up and down, you start to get those clicks back. I could hear the clicks were working again in that front one. The rear one, the front one took a little bit longer, but got it there in the end. Tried to have a look at these scratches with a bit of T-cut. Yeah, I think it made a slight difference. Something's obviously there's been a clamp or something on there for a rack or a mud guard or something, and they were scratches were through the paint, so there's only so much the T-cut can do really, but it was an improvement. It was worth doing, but not as nice a result as I was hoping. But where it is there, when the wheel's in, it's tucked right in behind the wheel there, the back of the seat tube, and you can't really see it, so you know, it's not going to spoil the overall look of the bike. Yeah, I carried on for a little bit with this, give it a bit of a polish down, and as I say, an improvement, but couldn't quite lift those scratches out, but they're not in a place that they'll massively show, so I'm not too concerned. And then you can see here I fitted new tyres, Maxxis tyres. He's going to use this for a bit of gravelly sort of off-road riding, so big fat Maxxis tyres on there. Amazing tyre clearance on this, as I now candidly tried to demonstrate. But what I'm trying to show you here really badly is how good the tyre clearance is on this 1998 frame. There's bags of clearance, there you go, bags of clearance, top and bottom at the rear, and loads on the front fork as well, for these massive 2.3 tyres. And of course, because it's V brakes, it's got plenty of clearance there of the brakes as well, so that's not an issue. What else did we do? Oh, this brake becomes a problem on this side later on. I'll explain when I get to it. These are the old brake pads, which are absolutely toast. They're scored and they're all worn unevenly where they were badly adjusted. So put those in and sorted out that sticky brake. I ended up fitting a new caliper on the one side. I've got, as I say, give it all a good clean. Nice new tyres, new pads, cleaned the frame, polished it. This here is the rear V-brake. This one was the one that was, the spring was damaged inside, and all the kind of the clips that hold the spring in place were damaged. The plastic was damaged, so I just changed it for another one. I had another Pro Max brake here that was right for the bike, so I popped it on, left the rack on there because Eddie does want to use it for commuting as well. And yeah, it's polished up really nice, as you can see, all the chrome. Paintwork's come up really good. They were good quality, these Univegas. People overlook them, but they're great quality bikes, and I'm really pleased with how this one came out. So I'll just leave you to have a look.